part two of the call, so stand by for that. Hey everybody, what's going on? It's your friend James Shaw. It is 7:59. Good to see you. Thank you so much for choosing to be here inside of Pivot Shift Ahead this morning. We do these two mastermind calls in one. So we spent the front half of the call today talking about what's your follow-up cadence after an open house so you can turn these prospects into leads or database connections for you. That was because Rashida asked the question inside of the Pivot Shift Ahead Facebook group. So if you're watching the live stream on Facebook or watching the YouTube recording or something and you missed all that, go to wherever you find your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever. Alexa, you can ask Alexa, did you know you can say, Alexa, play the Pivot Shift Ahead Mastermind, and she'll start playing it for you. And you can go back and listen to that strategy so that you too can get more leads from your open house. So thank you, Rashida, for asking the question. Today we're going to start something we're going to spend the whole week on, which is a question that I asked you last week. And I asked, how certain are you that your database still knows that you're in the business? It was a question for you to think about. What is your rhythm of staying in relationship and connected to the people inside of your database? And so we're going to spend the next 4 days really looking at that. Today is kind of the wake-up call around it and giving you awareness and an ability to reflect on, well, how well am I communicating with my database? So we'll talk about that today. But before we do that, something good. Dawn Little, good morning.
Good morning. It is a great Tuesday because yesterday I went under contract with my fifth closing in October. So I've never had five closings in a month before, so I'm a little stressed out, but it's everything I've been doing I know is working. So I'm extremely grateful.
Dawn, you're getting it done. We're so proud of you. Here it is, 9 days into the month of September. You're already set up for 5 closings in October. That's how we do it. Terry, good morning to you in the Twin Cities.
Good morning. Thank you so much, James. I had to write it down. For those of you who know me, you know that last year and the first half of this year was super hard. I've been so thankful for this group. I found out that I capped, and Friday was my grandson's second birthday. Got a creative outlet, painting a thing for him. I had a closing on Friday, then my listing went live. I did an open house. 19 parties, 34 people. I picked up 3 buyers and 1 seller.
Come on.
Had 7 offers by the end of the weekend. We chose one on Sunday night, looked at a home with my sellers, got our offer accepted last night for that one. On Sunday, I signed a new buyer from a previous open house. Huge. I got an opportunity to pray with a dear friend. So that was huge. That was huge. That was the highlight for my weekend. Huge things for her. And then I got a referral from dear Holly Ryder on Pivot Shift. So I'm going to be working with her friend. I am blown away. I am so blown away, and I just want to encourage everybody because I know what it's like to have nothing. So, yeah.
I'm proud of you. You have had a big year. Thank you, Terry, for being here. Barb, you get the last one this morning. Good morning.
Good morning from Canada, well, London, Ontario. So my something good is, as you know, I sit on committee here, community engagement. We have chosen 10 charities in our neighborhood or our community, and we have $70,000 from our local real estate board to give away to these tomorrow.
Whoop, Barb, I muted you by mistake. I apologize. Come back off mute for me.
That's okay. So tomorrow we've gone from 17 down to 10, and then tomorrow we're just going to decide who's going to get what of that $70,000.
That's cool. That's really cool. Love it. Matt Cannon, give us an update on the second annual inaugural Pivot Shift Ahead Survivor Pool for the Cure.
Yes, Survivor Pool for the Cure. I like that. Hey, so check it out. It's been pretty cool. We had over 50 people. So far we raised over $2,500 for KW Cares, KW Next Gen. So we appreciate everybody. It's fun. It's a good time. There wasn't a massacre. There was no, Sunday massacre like there was last year. We had 5 unfortunate people who, did make it to the next week. However, they can buy back in. So, hey, keep your picks coming in, and we appreciate your support.
Just reach out to Matt if you want to buy back in, if you got the boot, and you can stay alive. We'll see who we're going to pick this week. All right, let's get after it this morning. So the question that I want you to think about is, just how certain are you that your database knows that you are still in the business? See, your database has met a ton of people, friends and family who've gotten their real estate license. They know a bunch of them. And then they see them get out. They get in and they get out. And they get in and they get out. And so how do we know that they don't look at you in the same way? Like, oh yeah, did she try real estate? Is she still doing that? I wonder if it's working out for him. Now, I asked you this question inside of the Pivot Shift Ahead Facebook group, and we had answers from all over the place, right? Marilyn Burke was like, I'm 99%, 99% of them I'm sure know that I'm in, but that 1% that may not makes me panic. Mike said he thinks it's maybe a quarter of his database actually knows that this is what he does. And others were more certain and less certain. And the point is, this is not about any sort of guilting you into you're under communicating with your database, but it is about getting clarity about, are you truly in a flow and in relationship with them? So I'm curious, if you're on with us live, put in the chat if you had to guess what percentage of your database knows that you are in the real estate business for a living. What is it? Put it in the chat. What percentage is it? Now, again, this is just about awareness and clarity. I'm not here to beat anybody up. I'm seeing anywhere from 5% to 85%. I don't know what it is. But I think that people forget what we do. And they forget what we do because they have a life outside of you. They get busy. They have their own distractions. Other agents are reaching out to them. I mean, how many of you have ever had that person that you've known forever who then says, oh, by the way, we bought a place? That means that maybe they did think of you, but maybe they didn't think of you. And so we've got to make sure. I mean, even the most elite producers on this call lose business to somebody else because the person just simply forgot that you were in real estate. So are you sure that the people in your database know what you do today? And is it possible that there are people in your database that have actually already worked with someone else because they forgot and you just don't even know about it yet? So the question is, what do we got to do to make sure that we're the one? I want you to think about that. That you want to be the one. So before we start to answer this, I want you to hear my question. How do you find out? If I said I want you to go in and find out, do people think of you when they think of real estate? How would you do that? How would you go into the database and find out that you're it? That's what I want you to answer for me today. If you were going to do an audit to see if you're thinking of real estate, you'll think of me, how would you audit the database to do that? Dean, start us off, buddy. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Still mourning my Bears today, by the way.
Yeah, they lost. Sorry about that.
Oh my gosh, what a crazy game. But people in Minnesota are happy. Thanks for the opportunity to share, James. What I do is I talk to my database, probably depending on their intensity, 30 to 45 days. And I ask a simple question: how you doing? How's the family, et cetera, and so forth. And is there anything you need from us? Right. So that's a simple question. And generally, when you say that, unless they're completely dumbfounded and say, who the hell is this, which rarely happens because I'm very consistent and persistent with them, they know who I am. Now, I also send periodic postcards, probably twice a year, saying we're just clarifying your contact information, your name, address, and email address, and so on and so forth. We'll get a small percentage of people responding, but those that do, they're very engaged. And then when we do them again, we'll get different people. We also have contests throughout the year via email. We use MailChimp quite a bit, and we use that to qualify people too. So it's just a matter of being consistent, or as I like to say, persistently consistent or consistently persistent. I get those backwards sometimes. And keeping in touch with them. You can't hit them all. You're going to get some that fall through the cracks. There's no way you can get everybody. But it's just a matter of increasing your percentages. Thanks for letting me share that, James.
You got it. Dean, thank you so much. Orly, if you're going to audit the database to try to figure out what percentage of them are going to think of you, what do you think that would look like?
So if you don't know I'm in business in my area, you're living under a rock because I'm everywhere. If you go into CVS, there's a billboard there with a hand sanitizing machine. I'm in your mailbox. I'm in your face when you drive around town and see my signs. I'm in the newsletter, your email. I'm calling you. One of the things, yesterday I made my calls and text messages to past clients. And when I get a response, I'm in Portugal on vacation. I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks for the market update. So when they're responding to me, I know they're there. Are they all responding? Absolutely not. I get calls 10 years later from people who were invited to all the events, the pies, everything. Nothing, zero. And then all of a sudden, I'm ready to go. So it depends on their personality. Are you going to get everybody? Absolutely not. They're going to bump into a friend, somebody that becomes a friend who happens to be a realtor. They're going to go on Zillow to another area you don't service, curious, see that house, and that agent is going to grab them. So you're not going to grab everybody. But when I get about a 65% open rate on my newsletter.
Pretty good.
So, I mean, when you get a 65% open rate, there, and we get very, very little unsubscribe. So
Yep.
those kind of things that you can monitor and see, are they listening? But you've got to be everywhere because you don't know where they're looking. So you've got to be in front of them.
Orly, thank you. Yeah, if you're getting replies from people that are in Portugal saying, thank you so much for this, they're engaged with you. They're in a flow. And that's ultimately what we're looking for. Julie Hess, if you're going to audit the database, just to get an idea as to what percentage of the people in there know this is what you do, what would that look like?
Okay, thanks for asking, James. So I put 85 in the chat. And the reason why I did 85, my database is very small. I like to keep it to people that, there was a time we were just dumping everything in there. And as I'd go through the database, I'd be like, who in the world is that? So here's how I audit it. The people that I know, like Orly's saying, like Dean, they're getting the postcards and they're getting all that stuff. But those people that I don't know, I call them. I use Michael Mayers. Hey, this is Julie Hess calling. Start a conversation out of curiosity. I just have one question. Out of curiosity, if you have a friend, family, neighbor, or coworker that's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, and they called you and asked you, who would you refer? Do you have a realtor that you would refer? And if they say no, awesome, can I earn that spot? And if they say yes, then now they're going on the plan. If they say, no, I use Susie Q, great. Is Susie Q, out of curiosity, is Susie Q in the area? Is she a fit? I gained the number 2 spot. But that question helped me years ago clean up my database. And if somebody say, I'd use my mom. Well, okay, like I'll never use you. Okay, then you're out of my database because I want my database to know that yes, I am in business. Absolutely. So if I'm going to audit, that's how I audit. And I do that once a year.
We've got room for 2, right? So you want to be either the one they'd use or the one they'd use if they weren't using the one they'd use. And it's totally fine to be that person. Either spot is a win. And I love the question you're going to ask. That's a great question. Thank you so much. Donna Gilbert, you're next. Good morning.
Good morning. So Julie absolutely took my answer. You saw me pumping my fist. I mean, here's the thing. The most painful thing that has ever happened to me in real estate was the question, oh, are you still doing that?
Yeah,
Oh,
and I think you guys hear this. I think that's a thing you hear.
oh my God. So years ago, I decided that I would never let that happen again because it hurts. So yeah, Julie, I do exactly the same thing. I audit on a regular basis, even my closest friends. And I put it a little bit more personally. I say, if someone asked you, a real estate need, would you refer me? I ask them straight up. And normally hopefully I get, well, yeah, of course I would. Who else would I? Yes, you'd kill me if I didn't. I mean, answers like that is what you want. But if they do tell you, well, my sister just got then, it's a slightly different conversation. I don't take them totally out, but I know that maybe their sister's not going to stay in the business for a long time. But I like to ask them directly. I need to know.
Donna Gilbert, thank you. Ellie McIntyre, you're next. Good morning.
Good morning from very sad Baltimore. Oh,
That was a tough loss.
Oh, yeah, beyond tough. Anyway, you got to keep coming with value. One, you got to come with value. You got to bring things that resonates with them. You have to be diversified with your events. You have to make sure that every event you're going to pull out at least 5 to 10 touches. You got to hit them from different angles because different people respond in different ways, whether it be in your email newsletter, whether it be a giveaway, whether it be a text message. Definitely, which we actually had a really great conversation on Early Birds yesterday, is the DTD2. I mean, if you are not calling every single person, and like you say, James, or it's they don't have to respond to you. It's not their responsibility to respond to you. It's your responsibility to keep reaching out to them, because they will hear. And the best response that you can get is when they apologize to you for either not being in touch or for not sending you a referral. Then you know that they know you're in real estate.
I think the DTD2 is a great way to audit the database. And here's what I mean by that. Now, if you don't know what DTD2 is, we've learned this from Steve Schluter and Tammy Youngst. It's a way to communicate with the database, 2 letters by last name every week. I think it's P&L this week, right? P&L, I think, are the 2 letters this week. This is maybe how I would audit it. And I'm going to give you homework, and I want you to come back tomorrow and let me know how you did. But go through your P's and L's, and just all you have to do is look at the contact history and ask, when was the last time they got something from you or heard from you? When was the last, whether it was an email newsletter they got and opened, or was it a text that you sent, or an invite that came their way, or a call? But I'd go back and look. Now, if you think about it, I want you to do a 100 touch plan. I would love for you to have 100 touches a year. Well, that's 2 reach outs a week. Some of you aren't doing that, and it's okay, and I'm not mad at you. 36 touches is what a lot of you do. Well, that's still 3 touches a month. So there's some spot between 2 a week or 3 a month or something in between. But you should be able, if you want to do an audit, go into your P's, everyone whose last name starts with a P, and everybody whose last name starts with an L, and all you have to do is go ask, when was the last time they heard from me? And if it was in this window, from this week to the last couple of weeks, then you're good. If it's longer than that, there's a high probability that they forgot that you exist. We don't want that to happen. Speaking of P&L week, Angie Peterson, good morning.
Good morning, everyone from Central Minnesota. So just as you said, everyone else is spot on. The consistency piece and having that plan. I'm actually going to talk to our company today about my 36 plus plan. And one of the things, I don't know if it's been mentioned, is, pop buys is an easy way to have a comfortable way to, have a reason to reconnect. So I try to make sure at least monthly I do a pop buy. This summer we did bug spray and sunscreen. Now it's coming into the pumpkin spice season, and we're going to do pie days, and that's reversed bold, and we usually have 200 people that come to that. So as you mentioned, it's not just the events and the pop buys, it's the contacts leading up to and around. So making sure we take a picture when we drop off the pop buy if they're not there to answer the door, so we can have that conversation on text or Facebook or a phone call around it. And then I like what you say. I remember it often. Just because we don't hear them doesn't mean they don't hear us. And out of nowhere this year, 3 people, I haven't heard from them in 10 years, out of nowhere, of course, right? Come and say, I'm ready to look at homes again. Let's put our house on the market soon. So we just have to remember that they don't have a calendar of, hey, Angie hasn't spoke to us, but it's our job to make sure that they are hearing from us in the back of their mind, so that we are top of mind when it's ready.
That's the answer. And so that's what I want you to go find out is, are you staying in a rhythm in a way that they're going to be top of mind? Like, legitimately, you have homework today. And that's just to go through the database and look at your P's and L's, and then come back and report back to me, what did you get from that? So that then we can go through and make sure that we're filling in the gaps. Tomorrow's call is all about the gaps. Today is getting awareness. Tomorrow is about filling the gaps. So that, Angie, when they think of real estate, you get the business 10 years down the line. It doesn't really matter if they need you today, because you got to eat in 10 years too. We just got to be in a flow with them. Angie, thank you so much. Tyler, good morning.
Good morning, James. 2 ways that I audit my database to see if I'm a top of mind realtor is following open houses and first contact. Card.
Oh, Tyler, your internet, man, when you're out in the car. We had bad internet from you today. Woo. I'm so sorry. So we're going to go to Irene. Irene, you're going to get the last word this morning. Tyler, sorry, you can tell us tomorrow.
Hey, good morning from Toronto. Thanks so much, James. Yeah, consistency is key, and everybody pretty much said what I was going to say. But I'll tell you one of the things that I am doing differently for our big client appreciation event next year. We just finished it. It was a success. However, in spite of the 3 emails and all of the follow-up calls. I think we made about 450 follow-up calls total. There were still people that said, I didn't even know about the event. I didn't see, I didn't hear, I didn't. So they would have loved to show up. So what I'm planning to do next year, and we're doing our postmortem on the event tomorrow with the team. So my plan for next year is to add a paper invitation, which we haven't done, as you can imagine, in years and years and years. We've got send out cards. I've got about 800 past clients and VIPs, so it's not going to be an inexpensive proposition. But when you talk about doing something different and seeing what works, that's one of the things that I'm going to do differently next year, and I'll report back on the results.
I'm gonna put it in my calendar right now to ask you because I want to hear how it works out. I mean, the bottom line is we're looking to get awareness around what is working, what's not working, and does our database know who we are? And you cannot change what you don't measure. Some of you think that the system is working when maybe it's not. So I want you to go take a look. Start with your P&Ls. That would be my suggestion. So anybody whose last name starts with a P or last name starts with an L, because I think those are the letters this week, and just go and look very quickly. When was the last time they heard from me? And it should have been somewhere in the rhythm of this week or within the last 3 weeks, something like that. They should have gotten something from you, whether it's your weekly newsletter email or an invite to an event like Irene said, or maybe they got a call this week because their last name starts with P&L. But I want you to go look and then come back and report back your ahas tomorrow. We'll take your takeaways from that. Whatever stands out from you as you go do this little audit. And then we'll talk about how you can fill the gap so that you can earn more opportunity and that when people think of real estate, they think of you. Hey, thanks to everybody who shared today. Trust you got value. We love doing these masterminds. If you liked what you heard, then you can always go back and re-listen. We will have the podcast flipped up on all your podcast platforms here later today. Also, get engaged with what we're doing inside the Pivot Shift Ahead Facebook group. You can go right in there and ask more questions. That helps guide the conversation. And then finally, if you really love this stuff and want to go a lot deeper, come hang out with us inside the Inspire Collective. That is our membership community. Today, we're doing Lauren Lucas AI Playbook, Ultimate AI Playbook Part 2. That's a big deal. 90-minute special call today for Inspire members only about how to leverage some AI tools to support you. So that's today at noon Eastern. So if you want info on the Inspire Collective, go to jamesdshaw.com. And then finally, let's connect on the Instagram at jamesdshaw. Thanks for being here. You got your inspiration. Go put in the perspiration, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Thank you,
James.
James.
See you guys.
Good day, everyone.